Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Another fucking beautiful Thursday for you. Let's get that posture up, like every week. Grab yourself a refreshment. How about you think about the good things you got going on in your life instead of the negative shit, huh? What do you say? JX has got his new leather jacket from that he found thrifted.
$20.
$20 fucking dollars, baby. Today we got a beautiful show planned for you today, ladies and gentlemen. So let's just loosen up those backs. Take a big nasal breath and let's fucking get to it. Let's get fucking to it. Thank you, Gloria Tells. You're the only one for me, so people can quit asking what song that is. You're the only one for me, Gloria Tells. Okay, this episode is sponsored again by Optimal Carnivore. Guys, Optimal Carnivore on Amazon. It's an organic. This one I've been doing. I've been doing the Brain Nourish, and it enhances your mood, your memory, and your focus. And the two ingredients in it are New Zealand grass-fed brain, and then lion's mane, 1,500 milligrams of both, straight to the fucking guzzler. But they have a ton of different supplements. The link will be in the bio. Code is RedHawk 10. But like I said, this is some quality shit. All their shit's quality shit. Grass-fed organ complex. Imagine the ultimate multivitamin. Encapsulated the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet in a unique blend of 9 different beef organs. Organ meat, eaten, blah, 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 blah. There's just so much stuff about the Optimal Carnivore. A very good supplement that I do not mind getting behind because I know it's quality shit and it'll improve our health. So code RedHawk10 and the link is in the bio. Thank you very much. Also, I put out a new vlog on Patreon yesterday of the training day, kind of what we're focusing on really for Sean, where we're really areas we're focusing on that I know we're probably going to be in against Aljamain and Henry. So that vlog's on Patreon, along with a bunch of other shit, all the time on Patreon. Okay, so if you want to support the show, check it out. And like and subscribe if you haven't. We're going to do weekly shows. JX, quit fucking laughing, bud. Yeah, I woke up this morning and Danis randomly put me on his fucking story saying, you better keep your mouth out of my, or your name out of my mouth.
I think because he saw you tweet LOL on Twitter.
Oh yeah. That had to have been why. Just because I did the laughy face at him hitting mitts. Because I'm like, dude, is that you actually hitting mitts for real? Because you look like fucking slow turd.
He looks like me.
Got it with Dillion. It's like, dude, that kid's impressive. How popular he's been able to stay doing nothing.
I know. I think just because he was Conor McGregor's friend.
Yeah, that had.
I wonder if they even aren't hanging out anymore though.
No, it doesn't seem like it at all. But he just fucking runs his little lips. It's like, Dillion. Oh my God, that would just be a magical fight to be able to come back to. Hell yeah! I mean, get excited for. But Dillion, I'll beat you in the gi, bud. I'll beat you in the no-gi. I'll beat you in wrestling. I'll beat you in boxing. And for sure as fuck, I'll beat you in MMA. Because you watch some of his MMA fights and you can tell how scared he was. He goes in there and starts fucking pulling guard and rolling to his back because he's just nervous, going to what he likes. But the odds of that happening are 1 in a million. But wouldn't that be sweet? It's like, okay, now it's like, you better keep my name in your mouth. What are you going to do? You going to fucking see me in public and do something? No, you ain't going to do shit, bud. Okay,
It'd be sick MMA match, Superfight.
There's not a chance, Jay. Not a fucking chance. Okay, then Elon released all these Twitter files. That's really causing a fucking fuss. It's really causing a fuss because he released these Twitter files saying that the Biden administration was paid people to hide shit, paid Twitter to hide shit. All these Twitter files came out. And then Elon posted, comment yes if I should step down, no if I should keep going. And I think the majority of the votes were yes, which sucks because now what's going to happen? I mean, I feel like we need someone like fucking Elon who's taking those risks, but I don't know. What do you think, man? I wish I knew more about politics. I wish I fucking
I don't know shit.
Okay, JX sends me a little something on Twitter here. Father killed his daughter's boyfriend, 19, by stuffing him into the trunk of a car and repeatedly stabbing him after discovering he'd sold her to a sex trafficking ring. Body was found after a year. Jesus.
What'd you do?
So the boyfriend...
So so the boyfriend sold his daughter to a sex trafficking ring.
The boyfriend sold his daughter to a sex trafficking.
Sold the dad's daughter.
Holy
Like imagine your daughter was sold by whoever she was dating to a sex trafficking ring.
And then you just lost her.
Probably never see her again, yeah.
Oh, God, that'd be dark. Hey, Liz. Come pop a squat. How's it going? Daniel here too?
No, it's just me.
Just you?
Yep.
Right on. Fuck yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Elisabeth Clay here. She's right now, in my opinion, and I guess according to the stats, the number one grappler in the world. She won the absolute division at the IBJJF Worlds. For those who don't know, absolute's the open weight, so it's all the black belts in the open weight class. And then she won her division also, so that was pretty fucking epic. Liz has been coming to do some competition training here. She trains with Osvaldo Quixinho, who's a multiple-time world champion, and now her brother's training some MMA here, and he does some competition training here also. And even David had a huge bracket. Her brother David, who's a big kid. I think he was competing at medium heavyweight, and he had over 40 people in his bracket and had fucking awesome tournament. So for both you guys, I bet your mom's just like, whoa.
Yeah, she's super excited, especially with the open weight. My opponent, we fought since juvenile and it's always gone like back and forth. And I don't even think she realized, she's like, the last time you guys fought before this year was at Purple. And I was like, yeah. And that one went my way. And this year, like, for the most part, just kind of had people that didn't know, like, I kind of had a rough season just in general, even though like I was winning some stuff. For me personally, like it wasn't. But super excited for David because he's been training just as long as I have. He's been training like, it's probably like 10 and a half years now. And he kind of always like would just kind of fall short in competition and just kind of putting things together. It finally, like even the last couple months, like I told him, because Nogi Pans, he did that, it didn't go his way. And I told him, I was like, I can see stuff's starting to get put together because you're passing my guard sometimes. And like, you don't pass my guard. Like a lot of people don't. And I was like, I can feel it. This is going to be good for you. You're finally starting to put stuff together. And I think even more so, like it was such a big deal for him to finally go out and see that him go and, he's a purple belt Nogi world champion now. And it's great to see that. And he's finally like putting stuff together.
Yeah, and he's 18 years old too. And usually like at maybe purple belt, I mean, the kids are a little older maybe, but David's just such a fucking scrappy kid. And I mean, you having that tournament, that's fucking crazy. How old are you?
22.
22, and you did that.
Yeah.
God damn, I bet that feels good.
It feels great. Finally putting it together and then having the double gold, because last year I won my division at Nogi Worlds, but I got silver in the absolute, which I think a lot of people, I'm not tiny, middleweight's definitely on the smaller side to be doing absolute. And I'd even have people be like, why do you even do the absolute anymore? Like, you should just focus on your weight. And it's like, no, like I've always done the absolute. This year I kind of experimented with just doing weight, and I was like, no, we're going to stick with doing the absolute too. So going and like finally doing this, getting the double gold there felt great. Now it's just trying to turn it around and do the same thing in the gi.
So you're 22 now, and you started jiu-jitsu at what age?
I was 12. Like I just turned 12.
Just turned 12, and then when you just turned 12 and started jiu-jitsu, how many days a week would you train?
So I trained 5 days a week, but my mom would only take me in 4 days a week. And if anybody knows me, you kind of know how my personality is. I don't take a lot of days off. And she's like, no, 4 days a week is plenty. And I have older siblings, so I'm the middle child, and I have 7 siblings. So they were going to college. Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, and people don't realize that a lot of people think I'm the oldest. I'm not. I got kind of the responsibilities of being the oldest just because of how the age gap falls, but I'm the middle child.
And you have older sisters or brothers?
I have 3 older brothers and an older sister.
Dang.
Yeah, so they were going to college, and they would go at like 7 in the morning. And luckily I was homeschooled, so I would literally like wake up at 7 in the morning to go with them to college and like do my school so that I could train later in the days. And it was always on, funny enough, I remember the day it was on Tuesdays. Tuesdays was the day that like I had to get up super early to be able to go train.
At what point were you like, okay, I'm going to make jiu-jitsu my life? At what age, you think?
Probably within 6 months of training.
You're just like, I love this shit.
It's my personality. I've never wanted to do something and like be mediocre at it. Like you can't necessarily like decide like I'm going to be the best at it, but you can put your whole effort into it. And that was kind of my thing, that I was like, if I'm going to do something in anything, not just sports, but anything, like my goal is to be the best. It's not to sit there and just like, oh, I'm going to go have fun. for me, even as a young kid, I was like, it's a waste of my time. That's the whole reason I quit gymnastics, was because I wasn't getting enough hours in, and I was like, this is literally just, while I enjoy it, like, it's a waste of my time because I'm not going to go anywhere with it.
Yeah, I mean, just that age, especially for a girl. I mean, training for a girl is tough because you always got to roll with these physical, fucking huge, stinky guys, but still just showing up every day, accepting those guys are going to beat you up. And then now I see you in the comp training, you're tapping out fucking really good people. Like, you're smoking these guys, and I love seeing that because they're like, fuck, they're getting all pissed off. They don't show it, but then I can see it in them. Yeah, but that's pretty badass that you kept with it from that age you started training. So then when did you kind of start training twice a day?
I was probably, so the gym that I first started training at, like, they didn't offer a ton of training. So I had a key to the gym, and I would go in and I would do like cardio and that type of stuff. And I think probably when I was around like 15 or so, they added in a morning, and like an afternoon class. And when they did that, I started training twice a day. So probably from like 15 on. And for a really long time there, I was training twice a day, 7 days a week. And I like for probably like 3 or 4 years, and from like 16 to honestly till I moved down to California. So like 16 to 19, almost 20. And well, like, I progressed a lot during that. I trashed my body because I didn't take days off. My idea of a day off was, I was like, oh, I only do judo this day. And like, judo's hard on your body.
Yeah. Well, and you and David are both pretty flexible. Do you work on that flexibility, or is that kind of natural?
A lot of my flexibility, I think, comes like genetically, but also just from years of doing gymnastics. People always ask, they're like, what do you do for flexibility? I don't stretch. I notice a difference. Like, if I go do specifically hot flow yoga, like, I notice a difference in my flexibility. But I just don't.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, especially the hot yoga, that's like a practice in it fucking self.
Yeah.
What do you think the hardest thing about being a girl and training jiu-jitsu is? Because my girlfriend, we've been dating a long time, and she just never wanted to do it. She's just such a girly girl, never wanted to do it. As soon as I started teaching my own program, she got in the gi and started training a bit. But like, what do you think it makes it hard for girls that they got to overcome when it comes to training?
I think one of the biggest problems, especially now that we have, is it's very normal to like make it different. You're like, well, you're a girl, so it's different. And I think because of that, you start feeling different. You start almost isolating yourself. When you have that mindset, I feel like you made it harder on yourself because you're making yourself different. For the most part, if you go in and train, I think the biggest problem you'll run into is maybe the guys go either too light on you or too hard. But the thing is, once you've established that you can handle the training and that type of thing, it goes away. At least for the most part. You know, you might have a couple new guys come in, whatever, not a big deal. But with your daily training, you don't run into those problems anymore. So I think one of the biggest problems is the fact that we're like, well, you're a girl, so it's different. It's so hard in training. The training's the same. It's literally, okay, you might have one guy that's like, oh, I don't train with girls. Okay, so that's like 1 in 100.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. I think if you handle it the same way you handle with anyone else, the only thing difference, okay, maybe you have a question about, well, when I'm on my period, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's different. Okay, certain sports bras about what you wear, stuff like that's different. But aside from that, like, the training's the same whether you're a girl or a guy.
At many gyms, because you've been to a few gyms now, is there ever like a drama with the girls? I don't know why.
There definitely can't. So I think it depends on, I've seen two sides of it. So you'll have the girls that come in and they're not coming in for training.
They're coming in for the dudes.
Yeah, and you can tell. I think a lot of the guys are kind of like, either they don't want to see it or they don't see it. I don't know which.
But then we're guys, so it's like, yeah, you're battling with both sides.
Exactly. So you have that, and I think that's going to create drama. And then if you go to a place, and this isn't very common, I don't think anymore, but you'll have some gyms where like they're super sexist in the fact of how they speak about women. And really? I think that's an issue.
Like, speak about them in what way?
In a way, not even with the training partners, because I've always been like one of the guys, so I've heard the talk that I don't think anyone else hears.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, dude, damn. I'm literally gonna like, that's not, and it's not even about the women that are training, it's about women in general.
Oh yeah.
Like how they're talking, and growing up, like, I got brothers, and I think because I started training at such a young age, and I never held myself different, so like, I've always been like one of the guys is what they used to say. And I'd be like, the shit you hear, like,
these are fucked.
Yeah. I'm like, and I've literally told some of the guys that I'm like, dude, that's fucked up. Like, you can't say that shit.
Yeah.
And I don't care that, like, okay, the other women in the gym aren't hearing that shit and they don't know that you think like that, but like, and yeah, well, I'm not saying it about them. I'm saying it about like these girls. So it doesn't fucking matter. Like,
have you had a professor that was just good at steering away from that drama or just like putting a squash to it right away?
I have, I think one of the biggest problems that you run into, and I've seen it like, I think with almost every professor, is that you'll get them and they're like, well, I don't want to make people upset. You're gonna, at some point, somebody's gonna be upset, not necessarily with just this, because the thing is like every person wants something different. Not every person wants a competitive gym. Not everybody wants to train in that, but also not everybody wants super light training or more hobbyist type thing or super structured or whatever. So I think that the biggest thing is like pick what you like and go with that, and like don't listen to feedback, because there's a difference. You can listen to feedback from people, but I think that you kind of run into problems where they're like, well, I just want to make everybody happy. It doesn't exist. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, it is a skill too, making the program to like, okay, hobbyists can come and train, have fun, but we're also going to have competitors too, having that middle ground. And at my gym, I kind of want both. Like the hobbyists can come get in shape and have fun and still grow in jiu-jitsu. And I want people to be able to be competitive also.
Well, you can also have different classes for it, which makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So how you like an AZ?
I like it. It's closer to everything, and California's not my thing.
How come?
It's super liberal, but also where I was at was very like, well, yeah, oh, you're in California, you're next to everything. Where I was at was super like isolating because it was so far away from everything. And I was like, it's just not my thing. I feel like I'm back up in Alaska.
And Alaska is no good or what?
Alaska's beautiful. I loved growing up there, but once you get like to be an adult, especially when you're, a competitive athlete, all of your opportunities are not in Alaska. So you end up missing out. And a lot of, you know how it is, like a lot of super fights or tournaments or stuff can be really last minute. And especially the ones that are for more money. I don't know why it's like that, but a lot of times they're super last minute. And then the thing is, like, people don't want to pay flights. If you get a flight from Alaska last minute, it's like a grand. If you do it ahead of time, a couple $100, not a big deal. But I just missed out on a ton of opportunities just because of that.
Yeah, same with Montana. I mean, I think people watch the show Yellowstone and they're like, oh, Montana's just this peaceful, just beautiful. It's like, well, it's -40 on some days there. -40.
It's freezing.
-30. And then, if you're looking to do something at a super high level in combat sports, especially, it's going to be hard to do it in a small fucking town.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard.
It's very similar to Alaska. And it's people, they're like, oh, the snow, it's so nice. Like, yeah, it's so nice for a week.
Yeah, try shoveling it for 20 years every fucking morning.
I was 10 years there. And I'm like, okay, go get up extra early, go start the car while your coffee's being made, come back down, brush off all the snow. Oh, great, it snowed extra. I can't even pull out. I got to go shovel the snow now. Oh, I'm 30 minutes late now. Classes get canceled because of it regularly because there's nothing you can do.
Yeah. So what kind of now, because you've accomplished so much, like, is your goal to win the ADCC? What's kind of your goals now? You want to win both weights in the gi?
Both weights in the gi and then ADCC for sure. But it's kind of like, I feel like when I was younger, I say that like I'm so old, but like, 16, 17, I was very, it's like, I have this crazy time limit to do all the stuff. Like I got to go and accomplish everything as fast as I can. And not that I don't have a little bit of that, but I don't have like the crazy, I'm like, if it doesn't happen this time, like it's going to happen again. I'm going to go do it the next year. Or for ADCC, like, I have 2 years for it. I'm just going to be working on it, and it's not a big deal, but I used to, like, put so much pressure on myself that I would get, like, anxiety over it. To go into it and I'd be like, this is the only time. No, it's not. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think everyone does that, too. Yeah, so ADCC, I heard kind of quick Shinyo talking about you guys going to start improving your wrestling.
Yeah, I used to do a ton of wrestling, and then after I blew my knee out back right before that first ADCC that I qualified for back in 2017, I kind of like just freaking quit doing wrestling.
Said fuck wrestling.
Pretty much. Well, so I hurt my knee wrestling, and then I still went to training that night, and like it was off, but it wasn't torn, I don't think, or it wasn't too bad. And then one of the guys literally ripped like an e-brake on me, like when you grab and pulled it up as hard as he could. ADCC was like 3 weeks later, and I was like, dude, I fucking hate you. And then after, like, my knee swells up when I wrestle and stuff like that. So it's honestly been not even like my nerves, obviously, because I got hurt doing it. And then also just like my knee will literally swell up huge doing it. And
what kind of stuff do you like to do for your recovery?
I'm terrible
Chill
at
out,
recovery.
just snacks and Netflix.
Epsom salt baths. Because
I
actually really like Epsom salt baths. I think that the same thing I'll tell anybody, like, for recovery, if you want the best thing, ice baths are the best thing you can do. They're just fucking miserable.
Yeah, they're a bitch, and they don't. It's just like they don't get fucking easier either. You get more familiar with the pain, but they don't get easier. They're hard every single fucking time.
Yeah, no, it sucks. But honestly, I think it's better than cryotherapy and any of that stuff because I've done all of it. And
so,
like,
how do you and Daniel do with your guys' diet?
me and Danilo, well, he eats what I cook, so as far as that goes, it's pretty healthy.
Are you a pretty good cook?
If I want to be.
Just frozen burritos and toast?
Oh no, like it's actually like if it's on diet, like vegetables, rice, a protein, whatever.
Do you put in the what the hell is that thing?
You're talking about like a crock pot?
A crock pot, but what's the other
Pressure
thing?
cooker?
Yeah. Air fryer.
Air fryer? I have an air fryer for the meat.
And that thing cooks it up nice, doesn't it?
It cooks it up nice and it's fast. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we just eat super healthy for the most part. But he loves Coke. Like he's always drinking Coke.
Coca-Cola.
Just guzzling it. He'll drink it before training. He's like, my weight's good. Literally like a week before Nogi Worlds, he's sitting there like drinking a Coke. I was like,
and he's still jacked.
Yeah, I was like, that's not fair. Like I can't do that type of stuff.
Dude, I drink a Coke and my love handles and tits just go like one Coke, literally. Yeah, so you guys like to keep it clean. Do you guys go out much for eating?
I hate spending money.
Do you?
Yeah.
You like to nickel and dime a little bit?
We're polar opposites as far as that goes, which is funny because like both of us grew up without money pretty much, but because our spending habits are polar opposite.
So you like to not really spend a lot.
I like to have money. I don't like to spend my money.
And Danilo just spends it all.
He's there. He's like, why don't, like, he shops more than I do. And he's like, he's like, oh, when's the last time you went shopping? I was like, my birthday. He's like, yeah, but how much did you spend? I was like $60. He's like, what is wrong with you? He's like, you win these big competitions, like you make some money and you're like, no, I don't want to buy anything. I had my headphones, one of my AirPods were broken for over 2 years before I bought a new pair. And I was like, I don't want to buy a new pair of headphones. He's like, are you kidding me right now?
So is this the first time you've lived with a boyfriend?
Yeah. And
how's that go? You guys buck heads?
Not really, not anymore. At first it was definitely like different because I'm very stubborn.
Stubborn when it comes to
I like things a certain way. Like I'm not OCD, but it's like, dude, like put it why is the Nutella sitting on the counter? Can you put the Nutella back in the cabinet? And this is still like a fight, like literally yesterday. And he's like, well, I'm gonna use it. I was like, you using it tonight? He's like, no. So put it away. I was like, there's Nutella there. There's farofa on there. There's your tapioca. Like, but the pantry's right there. Just put it away.
What's his reply usually?
He's like, but I'm going to use it. I'm like, tomorrow. So either he'll put it away or I'll go put it away. I'm like, I'm just going to put this away. It's not even worth arguing.
Yeah, it's just petty stuff.
Like, it's easier just to go pick it up and put it away. But it's like really little things like that. Or when we first moved in, because this is our second place together, because we had a place together over in California. And it was really small, so I was like, I want this here. And he's like, well, I want it here. And it's like this tiny little area. And I was like, well, we can't put it there and like, because it's going to melt this certain thing. And he's like, no, it won't. Like, yes, it will. I don't want the air fryer next to the sink.
And then do you guys get into training, go after each other a little harder?
Not because of that stuff, but like anybody that sees us train, like we train really hard together.
Competitive, yeah.
Super. And it's great, but like, don't get me wrong, we definitely get upset with each other sometimes.
And you bring it home sometimes?
Sometimes, but usually after literally less than an hour, we're fine again.
Yeah, that's funny.
But like, it's much better here than it was over in California, because in California, we were basically training together like 8 to 10 rounds a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So who would you say the girl goat is? Like the greatest of all time females right now?
That's hard, because the thing is, like, what accolades are you pulling it off of? And also like weight class affects that too. Mm-hmm. Because the thing, like, you have Bia Mesquita, obviously, but the thing is, you also have Gabby Garcia, who won a ton of things, but I don't feel like you could compare the two because it's just different. And then you all like Amy Campo just won ADCC, but I think she's also just getting started in her career. And so it's like that's such a hard thing.
Did you watch the Bia versus Misha Tate?
I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I know how scrappy Misha Tate is, scrappy wrestler, but it's like you're going against someone like Bia Mosquito. It's not gonna be close. It's not gonna be fucking
especially
close.
when it's a purely grappling match. Like if you were to go throw an MMA, like that's completely fucking different.
Yeah.
But it's different. Anybody that does jiu-jitsu and then does MMA, like you know there's a difference.
Yeah, it's just a completely different game. Did you watch Gordon versus Nicky Rod at all?
I don't have UFC Fight Pass.
You don't? You can borrow my login.
Okay, perfect. Danilo will make fun of me for that too. He's like, "You're that kid." I was like, "Yeah, they're already paying for it. I didn't need to pay for my own."
Yeah. So do you guys do? You and Danilo, do you guys do any drugs like caffeine or weed or anything?
Caffeine. That's it.
Have you ever dabbled in the Mary J?
Edibles occasionally, but it's really I don't smoke. I don't like that.
Have you ever?
No,
So how do you know you don't like it?
because I don't like the idea of smoke.
What about the vapor?
I'm good.
Yeah, that's cool. But little edibles once in a while, some low
Yeah,
dose.
if I'm having like hard time sleep, stuff like that, or my body's just like completely trashed, then I will. But it's definitely not an often thing. But like if my body's trashed, then I will because it just helps with that.
What about Danilo?
Occasionally, but he doesn't like it.
Yeah,
He'll do it if he's messed up.
Not a ton of Brazilians that I've met do the marijuana much.
Well, because it's such a over there. It's like it's kind of like how marijuana was here like 20, 30 years ago. Like the bad thoughts behind it and like what goes with it. Like
It's still like that over there?
It's still like that over there. Like it's
The devil.
they literally. If I talked to his mom about it, she'd probably be like, "Oh my god, my son's turning into a drug addict."
She's a
like,
fucking meth head.
And it's not even like that's normal. That isn't just like, oh, his mom thinks that or whatever. Because I don't even know if she does. But like in general, that's like the thought over there. Is it's like a super 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 bad thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was trying to get Italo to do a little smoke with me. He's like, no.
He said, "No, that's the devil. Stay away from me."
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. So how much a week do you train in the gi and the nogi every week? How do you split that up? How do you go about splitting that up?
So it'll vary. Obviously, like before Nogi Worlds was different because during the gi classes I was still training Nogi. But usually Monday and Wednesday are both gi, like in the morning and at night. And then Tuesday, Thursday, it's gi in the morning, Nogi at night. And then Friday, if I come over here, it's Nogi in the mornings and then gi at night.
And do you think they complement each other?
I do. I think that it helps work different sides of it. You know, it can be hard switching back and forth sometimes though. Especially if I'm doing like one way more than the other. Just like right after Nogi Worlds, like switching back into the gi. I was still training in the gi, but it's different. When you're training in the gi, but you're primarily training Nogi or vice versa, like it's completely different when you really switch to like, okay, I'm like training for competition now. Like my game changes ever so slightly. And I'm not as lazy in the training, which I kind of, if I'm training mostly Nogi, like when I'm training in the gi, I'm not training hard. I'm just going there to get a sweat.
Yeah, and just working. I think they really complement each other a lot. I mean, if you're not getting your guard pass in the gi, then people probably aren't going to pass your guard in the no-gi. Yeah, it's hard to switch though. I mean, it's impressive when people can be competitive and win in the gi and then be competitive and win in the no-gi. It's fucking impressive because those really are two different sports too. They really are. So how long have you been training with Quixinho?
So I've been under Aries since I was 16, and under him primarily. So I got my black belt from him and Samir in 2020, but I moved here to Arizona earlier this year. But even when I was over in California training, which was in 2020, Quixinho was still the one that coached me like 90% of the time when I went to competitions.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah, Quixinho's awesome.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome. So, did you see these Elon Musk Twitter files that came out about all the Biden stuff? Do you know much about politics?
I stay out of it for the most part.
I don't fucking know shit. I wish I did, just so I could comment on it a little bit here and there. But yeah, there's no UFCs for 4 weeks.
That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, fuck. 4 weeks off. I mean, I don't think there's been that long off for a long time. What are you doing for the holidays? Just chilling out with the fam?
Pretty much, yeah. My family's coming over. to my apartment, so it'll be nice. Just kind of having Christmas over there.
And how about David? Because I haven't really got to sit down with David and talk about like really what his goals are, but it seems like he's starting to move over to MMA a bit and he's wanting to.
Yeah, he's hoping to get a fight in the next month or two, which I told him. I was like, I hope I'm out of the country when you fight. I was like, because I want to be there to support you, but I don't want to see it. He stresses me out enough in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, yeah. The fighting's a whole fucking different
Yeah,
world.
well, like, I had someone, they're like, well, is it because, like, the blood bothers you? I was like, no, if anyone else is fighting, I couldn't give a shit less. Like, I don't care. But it's like, it's my brother. It's different.
Yeah, for sure.
So he's wanting to still do jiu-jitsu, but he's trying to figure out how to balance both, which I think that's way more difficult than, like, what I do, which is just balancing gi and nogi. He's trying to balance literally MMA and jiu-jitsu and still competing in both and trying to do both.
Yeah, for sure. He's a young buck and he's a fucking scrappy kid.
Yeah.
But, so that's good.
He'll figure it out.
All right. What else? You've been learning Portuguese, huh?
Yeah, that shit's hard.
You guys watch, what kind of shows do you guys watch together?
I'll just he doesn't watch stuff in Portuguese, which is kind of funny.
You watched in English?
Yeah. Because that's like, I was able to go to the movie theaters in Brazil because it's like super common for them to just have subtitles and not even like,
really?
they have dubbed versions and then they also have the English version with just subtitles, and I guess it's super common to just like watch the version with subtitles because obviously when it's dubbed, like it changes the actor's voice. And so like
that fucks it up a little bit.
Yeah, so he's honestly more used to watching stuff in English. I'm the one that puts stuff on in Portuguese, and I'll just put like random shit on just to try to have it in the background to hear and listen to it.
What kind of shows you guys watch? Reality shows or what kind?
I watch like everything. He hates when I put on like chick flicks, but I'll do it all the time. Or like anybody who knows like all the time around like the holidays, like Christmas, they'll come out with like cutesy little like Christmas stuff. I put that stuff on all the time. He's like, why are you watching your girl show? I was like, because I'm a girl. I was like, just because I train and do all that stuff, like I'm so very much a girl, dude.
I can't believe you guys have 5 other siblings. And so what do they all do?
So my older siblings were elite gymnasts. They're not anymore. So my sister just got, she hasn't taken the board yet, but she just finished law school. And then my 3 older brothers all work up on the North Slope where my dad does. So freezing. And then David obviously is kind of juggling between MMA and jiu-jitsu, and the other 2 have no idea what they're doing.
Nice.
They're still figuring it out.
Do you do much reading or listen to any podcasts or anything?
Not really. If you look at like my YouTube history, it's very much like what you expect a girl's YouTube like history to be. It's like story times, makeup, skincare.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. JX, did you watch the fights this weekend?
No.
You didn't? What the hell you did?
Who fought? I
Jared Cannonier, Alex
No, I
Caceres.
didn't even watch them, dude.
They were pretty good. How's it been? How's it been living with Dow?
It's been cool. I feel like we have opposite schedules, so he's always gone during the day, and I'm chilling like during the day, and then by the time it's nighttime, I come to training. So kind of opposite. I only see him really like sometimes we'll have dinner together.
Because he's got to work over 40 hours a week.
Oh yeah, he works at least minimum 40.
Fuck. So do you think when you're older, Liz, do you want to own your own gym?
Probably not.
Really? How come?
There's so much shit that goes into it, and I don't think people realize like how stressful owning and running a gym is, and also you're stuck. And I like traveling a lot. Maybe I'll feel differently, like 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Maybe at that point I'm like, I've traveled a lot. I'm good. But like at this point in time, thinking about it, like, no, never. No, I used to want to. I was like, yeah, I'm going to open a gym and blah, blah, blah. And then like seeing people running gyms and like being super close to people that like own and run gyms, I'm like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
One, I'm stuck for like 5 to 10 years at least.
Yeah.
I'm stuck. And that's if you have other instructors. But then there's a whole host of problems that come with having other instructors. Like eventually they're probably going to want their own gym, and 90% of your students are going to leave because they bonded with that instructor, and that's how it should be. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But like, and then you got to deal with all the, everybody's always upset. Someone's always upset over something.
Yeah.
Like I deal with that enough as it is like from coaching and dealing with like parents and stuff like that. No.
Because you're teaching kids right now?
Not right now, which I'm not going to lie. I miss teaching the kids, but it's kind of nice to be able to just solely focus on myself. So since I moved over here, I haven't been teaching. So for probably about 6-8 months. But I've taught for like almost the entirety of the time I've been training.
Mm-hmm.
So like 9 years.
Yeah.
There's so much shit that goes into it. And like teaching is the easy part of it. People don't like, oh, I just go and I teach. No. First of all, you have to deal with people. And that's still the easy part. You have the taxes, you got the business side, you have everything that goes into it. Oh, somebody's getting married? It sucks to suck. You don't have somebody to teach. You're not going.
Yeah.
Or you're going to close the gym and people are rightfully so going to be pissed.
Yeah, because some people go to, they want to learn from the black belt. They want
Exactly.
The head guy.
Which is what they're paying for.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for the people who open a gym and they're just trying to get people in the door.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can't even get to 20 members. I think I did it right where I started in this mechanic garage where it was $900 a month. Yeah. So 3-4 members covered the rent. And then we slowly moved up. And now, I mean, it's crazy because within a year the memberships have doubled. So almost up to like 150 members.
That's awesome.
But I have Mariah who's so good at being on top of all the business stuff. So I just get a focus on teaching my 1 class a day, sometimes 2 classes a day. And then I got some other instructors that are good. So I don't, it's not too stressful for me, but I think I'm good at maybe dealing with the stresses.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky enough too, like COVID didn't fuck us. I just didn't even close. I closed for a month and then just kept it open and just told people to park away from the gym and then we'll all just sneak in.
Yeah.
And that worked out good. So what about Danilo? Does he want to open a...
He does. He wants to open a gym. And I told him, I was like, you can even throw my name on the front of the gym. I don't care. But guess who's still going to travel?
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
I was like, so you better be ready for that. I was like, because I'm not just... Because most of the reason I don't want the school is because I don't want to be stuck. And I was like, so if you want the school, like, great. I was like, I'm literally sponsored by a mat company. Like, I can help you with all that stuff because mats are freaking expensive as far as that. Like, that's literally one of your biggest expenses. I was like, I'll help you with all that. You can put my name on the front of it. But I ain't being stuck there.
What do you like about traveling? Just seeing new restaurants?
I just love going to, like, see new places and experience that stuff. And, like, I don't even, usually I don't even spend a lot of time when I go. Like, I'm there, go compete, maybe spend, like, an extra day or two there, just kind of looking around. But, like, I enjoy getting to travel and just meet new people and just to, like...
See other cultures.
Yeah, exactly. See other cultures and experience that. And it's crazy to me how many Americans, like, they don't travel.
Yeah, I think the reason I don't mind traveling. Every time I do it, I'm like, that was all right. But I think the reason I don't like traveling is because my house setup is so... Like, I have my chili pad on my bed, my perfect bed. I have... I try to set my house up like a spa.
Yeah.
So then I leave and I'm like in some shitty hotel. I'm like, fuck this. I don't want to travel. But I used to be like that too. I used to be like, no, I want to travel a ton. But now I'm 32. It's not as much. I'm like, if I'm traveling, I want to get paid to be traveling.
Well, I don't travel without that.
Yeah.
So it just goes back to that. I don't like spending money.
Yeah.
None of the I don't think a lot of people, like, none of the trips that I go on, they're either completely paid for the most part, or they're paid for and I'm being paid to be there. Which is a great benefit of the job that I have. Like, I get to go to the Bahamas, I get to go to, like, Costa Rica and stuff like that. And, like, my whole trip is paid for.
And then when you're doing seminars and stuff, does everyone want to roll with you after?
Usually.
Do they try to fuck you up?
Oh, for sure. They go so hard. And
0 to 100, huh? Like, I'm going to get her.
Even, like, I'll go with huge guys and they're doing the same thing. And, like, I don't really, like, I understand it. You kind of have that thought and you're like, even if you're a black belt, if you don't see a lot of high level people, you're like, oh, this is my chance to, like, I can prove that I'm good.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I'm going to be honest. I don't care. Like, if you do great. If you do bad, I'm not paying attention to that.
Yeah.
But I also know, like, the other side of it. And, like, from seeing other people. So, like, people just go super hard. And I'm like, okay, whatever. The only time it was a problem is when I went and I did a seminar. And I didn't roll with everyone this one because my leg was broken and my arm was too. So I wasn't even supposed to be training. I was up there, like, teaching a seminar. My leg was literally, like, the smaller bone was completely broken. And then my arm was broken. And luckily the guy that I was up there teaching is actually one of my friends. And he's like, no, you're not training with everyone. You can train with that person, that person, that person, that person. He's like, so they're not going to hurt you. I was like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, because, yeah, some of those seminars, I mean, you see like Hoffa Mendez and even Taquino, they have seminars with 50 people and they try to roll with every one of them. I'm like, fuck.
No, I'll literally roll until people are either they stop it or like people quit asking, because I'm not going to be the one that stops it. I get that. Like, when you pay for a seminar, you're not just paying for the moves, right? You're paying for the experience. You're paying to meet the person. You're also paying for that opportunity to, you know, be able to roll with him. And it kind of bothers me when I'll see people that do seminars and they literally go teach the seminar and they leave.
And dip.
Yeah, like, you're not just there for that. Like, you're there, hey, people want to go out. They want to go eat. They want to whatever, like,
talk to you a little
exactly
bit.
You're literally being paid for that. Like, you're not just being paid for those 3 hours. And if that's how you think, like, you should tell people that beforehand when they're asking about seminars, because you're paying for the entire experience. You're not just paying for those 3 hours of pure technique.
Yeah, for sure. So would you say your favorite app is Instagram? You do a good job at staying pretty busy on there.
Yeah, Instagram is basically the only thing I use. And I'm going to be honest, if I wasn't an athlete, I probably wouldn't.
Really?
Yeah. The only reason I got Instagram was because of that.
Yeah. So do you have like a schedule, or you just do whatever pops into your head?
I basically try to just constantly be posting on my stories, and then I try to post at least I try to post once a day. Sometimes it kind of like I don't, just because especially around like right before Nogi Worlds, like I didn't post that much, probably like the week before, just because I'm busy training.
Yeah.
Or like sometimes I'll just get into kind of like, I think anybody does, like, it get kind of funks, and I'm like, I'm posting like every other day instead of every day. But I try to generally just be active on it, because it isn't just about like, oh, I have a lot of followers, great. You need good engagement with it, and all of that. That's honestly, the engagement's more important than anything.
Do you have a lot of freaks in there?
Oh, my messages are insane. Honestly, comparatively, they're not as crazy as they used to be.
Really?
Like, so it got so bad at one point that there may or may not have been a group chat with some of my old teammates, and I may or may not have sent screenshots, and they may or may not have slid into those people's DMs then, because they were being weird and talking about dicks and stuff. And like, I would literally send screenshots and be like, haha, I'm gonna go slide into this person's DMs. I was like, thank you, maybe they'll leave me alone. And like, I've gotten like full-on like proposals. I've gotten
just proposals for like,
this is what I'm looking for, blah 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 blah. I own this gym. I'll pay for you to be a full-time athlete. You'll never have to worry about money again. I just want a faithful wife and this many kids. And I'm like, what the fuck?
wifey?
Yeah, like, and this isn't like a one-time thing. I've also gotten that I didn't listen to. This guy sent me a voice audio in Portuguese of like what he wanted to do. And I literally had some of my friends listen to it, and he's like, you want to know what it says? I was like, nope.
Oh.
And they literally went around the room, and like everyone listened to it. They're like, what the fuck? Like no hello, no hi. Like, they just start with that, or they'll be like this. I'm like, dude, you didn't even say hi, how are you first? You just sent a picture of your dick. Like,
the Brazilians like to get freaky once in a while.
Dude, the Americans are the ones that send the dick pics.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about the guys sending that. Like,
I don't know what that does.
I think it's very rare that a girl's like, fuck yeah, I want to see these dicks. Because if a girl wants to see a dick, she could see 150 to 200 a day.
Well, the thing is, usually you want to see the dick because you either like the person or you like what you see. Like, it's not because of the dick. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not. They're not nice things to look at.
Yeah, exactly.
And I honestly, sometimes I want to ask these guys, I want to be like, does that ever work? Like, I'm really curious. Does it ever work?
I can see it because, like, you get horned up and your mind is just like, it's different. So you're not even thinking.
But it's different if you were already somewhat talking to a girl, but when you just send a picture of your dick.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, bro, you didn't even say hi. Like, it was just like, duh, here's a dick.
And it's probably because they don't have much interaction with girls and they're just used to watching porn.
Yeah.
They're just used to watching porn, and they watch all these sluts on porn, and then they think that's what girls want.
Dude, that's a whole problem in itself. Porn fucks up so many things.
Well, think now the kids are 5, 6, 7, 8. As soon as they're getting little boners, they're fucking able to look at porn.
Yeah,
it's gonna fuck them up royally.
It fucks so many. If you literally look at like the effects that porn has on the mind, even like an adult mind, like it's not. There's like nothing good about it.
Oh my god. Especially Reddit. It's like, holy hell.
Oh, it's fucking everywhere too, though. It's not even just like where it used to be like, oh, you had to go like to a porn. Like it's everywhere.
Everywhere. And anything you want for a young buck who their brain's just still developing. They're just still figuring out life, figuring out how humans interact, and they see that.
Well, I mean, why do you think we have so many like fucked up relationships and stuff like that? Like because they don't know how to do that. Literally the first thing they learn is literally porn. Mm-hmm. And it's such a, it's almost gone the other way where like it's taboo if you don't watch it.
Yeah.
Like I've never watched porn.
Ever in your life?
Never.
Wow. What if you and Danilo wanted to once?
Why do you want to watch other people fuck when we can go do it ourselves?
Yeah, that's true.
That's weird. Like, why is that what you get off of?
But what if you guys are together for 10 plus years and you're like, let's explore a little bit and try to.
But you can try new things with yourselves. Why do you need to start watching other people? I find it fucking weird. Yeah. Why do you want to watch other people like have sex? Why is that what you want to watch?
Yeah, and
especially when you're in a relationship, like you literally have a person right there, and you want to watch. Not only like you want to see a naked girl, like. You want to see other people full on like fucking. Like, why do you want to see that?
Yeah, I think it's something in the guys' fucking brain. It's something in our brain. It's something about having like testosterone and balls and just something in our genetics to where it's like.
I think it's society. I don't think it's genetics.
You think it's?
I think it's societal.
Because I think in the past it was like pretty. I think monogamy is a newer thing.
But I think it's a societal thing, especially now. Like, you have polar opposites when it comes to stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you have the people that it's like never, never, never. But then you also have the people it's like, well, you're fucking controlling if you think that. Yeah.
So if, say you and Danilo were dating for 5-6 years and you caught him watching porn or I
would leave him because he already knows it's not okay.
Really? What if he talked to you about it?
But the thing is, we've already agreed that it's a boundary. And the thing is, like, okay, open relationships aren't for me. However, I have respect for someone as long as you're doing it completely open communication, right? Yeah. Because the thing is, you're still in agreement, and that's the whole point of a relationship, right? Yes. Everything is in agreement. So it's not the fact that, oh, he watched porn. Yes, that bothers me. However, it's the fact that he violated a boundary that he knew was a boundary.
That was your agreement.
It would be the same thing, Kate. Let's say you have an open relationship. You have an agreement. You don't bring people in the house. You brought a girl in the house.
Yes.
Or a guy in the house, whatever. Like, you violated that boundary. Mm-hmm. And while to someone else, you sleeping with someone else because you have it at all would be, like, for me, that's completely out because you cheated. You violated a boundary. However, if you have the agreement, it's fine. You just don't do it in the house. And you do it in the house, you violated that boundary. It's the exact same.
No, it makes 100%. So maybe down the road, if Danilo's like, hey, could we maybe put in a couple new agreements, or are those etched in stone?
If you wanted to talk about it, but I'm going to be honest, I probably personally wouldn't be okay with it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
like,
for sure.
I still have respect, even if we don't stay together. I still have respect that you went and talked to me about it instead of hiding it and lying. And I think that's one of the biggest problems.
Yeah, and I think that's what 95% of guys do.
Well, but the thing is, you can find a girl. And that's what I've told him. I was like, if you're not okay with what I want, that's fine. Like, you can find someone that's okay with it. Mm-hmm. You can pretty much find someone that's okay with whatever the hell you want. But the problem is, why are you lying just to get it because you want... well, I want this person. Well, they don't want that type of relationship, so I'm just going to lie about it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's not okay.
Yeah, and I think it takes balls for a guy to bring that kind of stuff up, because most of the guys, the easy way is to lie and just hide and cheat, like fucking majority of people do. But it takes balls to talk to your partner and bring up those things.
But that's how it should be, and even if it doesn't work out in the long run, like, just because things are different, and that's okay that things are different. Mm-hmm. There's literally people have it like, well, only guys want to fuck around. There's plenty of girls that want to fuck around too. Why can't you just be honest about it, and then you find a girl that wants to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I started the new season. Just watched the first episode of Too Hot to Handle. I think that's what it is. Too Hot to Handle. And they purposely find the girls that are just horned up college girls looking to fuck, and then they put them in this house and say, you guys cannot do anything. If you kiss or if you do anything, then that's money off your check. Mm-hmm. So there is girls out there like that.
But there's plenty. That's the thing. You can find someone for like whatever type you want. You can find someone for it. The problem is you get the guys and women too, just the same, that they're like, well, I want this exact person, but I also want this other thing that I know they're not okay with, so I'm just gonna hide it. Like, I don't. And then you're gonna sit there and say you love the person. No, you don't. You're just selfish and disrespectful, honestly.
And eventually, I mean, eventually you always get caught.
Exactly.
And
It's
it
going
turns
to come
into-
down. Either one of the girls or guys is going to message your significant other. They're going to find something. Like, it's not, it comes out eventually. The question is when. And then you've ruined everything. Like, it's just a matter of time.
What's the longest you've dated a guy?
Me and Danilo, and we're going on like 2.5 years.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
How'd you guys meet?
Training. And neither one of us liked each other at
He
first.
slid in the DMs?
Yeah, he did actually. And he'll literally, if you ask him, he's like, no, I didn't. I was like, yeah, you did. You literally messaged me. And this isn't the first time he messaged me. But we're like training together. And he messaged me with like, because I posted a picture. I was like, I need to get a haircut. And he like found this headband at the gym because he was staying at the gym. And like pulled his hair back. And he's like, I need a haircut too. And I'll still tease him about that all the time. He's like, shut up. I was like, yeah.
I think it's harder for Brazilians too, that when that was their first language, to flirt American.
Well, he didn't speak English. When we got to, he didn't speak English.
Damn.
Like, Google Translate. Like, he didn't speak English, so it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is funny. Yeah. I mean, the relationship stuff, I love talking about it. I mean, so many people do not communicate with their partner. They don't have the balls to communicate with their partner.
But I think that's a lot of...
And if that's your best friend,
Yeah, why can't you just talk to
you should
them?
be able to talk to them.
But I think a lot of people don't date their best friend. I think they date someone that they want, or they don't even want the person. They like the idea of them. I think a lot of people who they date is not their friend. It's not anything. They're like, I like the idea of this person, which is also then why they cheat, because it's not actually the person they want. They like the idea of the person, but they don't like everything that goes into it.
Yeah, for sure. It's fucking complicated though. I mean, it's not like, oh yeah, just communicate and it's easy. It's like,
No, it's not easy at all.
fuck. Like, emotions are going to be brought up. There's going to be a lot of shit going on. But God, it always turns out better if you end up communicating.
Yeah.
Maybe you fight. Maybe get their emotions fired up. You get your emotions fired up. You hate it. You just sit into it. But then you talk through it, try to see it from their point of view. They try to see it from your point of view and start to come to agreement. And then you just, your relationship step to another level after you do that.
Well, I feel like if you ask most girls, the thing about cheating that hurts the most isn't the cheating. It's the fact of the lying. And like, well, I had this idea and like, this wasn't the reality.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of things that guys are like, no, I don't want to tell her because I only did it once.
And I didn't care about the girl.
Exactly. That makes it worse when they're like, she didn't mean anything. I'm like, so our relationship meant that little to you that you like, a girl that meant nothing to you, you went and fucked? Like, the hell?
So, I know. It's like, when guys get horny, they're so fucking stupid. Like, so stupid.
Oh, completely. But you also can then be honest about it even if you fuck up.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing that they're like, well, it was a one-time thing. Well, it doesn't matter. You did something that you weren't supposed to that was an agreement.
And then I found out.
Yeah, you should tell the other person. It shouldn't be a thing that like, well, now I have to go and find out or something. Like, you should just tell them.
Have you ever, sorry to switch subjects here, but have you ever had a match with Mackenzie Dern?
No. We were supposed to fight first round at ADCC when I got hurt.
I wonder if who's number one would ever set that up. I wonder if
Maybe.
I wonder if she would ever even do it. Even
I think finding a weight class that we could both fight, because I won't go lower than 140 and she fights like 115.
Yeah.
But then again, fighting MMA weight is different than jiu-jitsu too.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't really make sense for her to go against you right now when you're in your prime or getting close to your prime. I mean, not even close to your prime. 30 is going to be your prime.
Yeah.
Like, that's a long ass time. So do you plan on doing all the next ADCCs too?
That's the goal. But we'll see. You never know if you're going to get that invite or not. And
How would you not get the invite?
I don't know. But they do their invites how they like to do their invites. So you never know.
Yeah, because they don't do it really based off IBJJF. I mean, they say they don't, but
They don't. They have their people that they invite back every year. And then, especially for the women, it's hard, though, because then you only have, like, 1 or 2 extra invites.
was it pretty sweet competing in the Thompson Mac when there was a huge crowd?
That was crazy. It was awesome competing there, but it was crazy trying to, like, even just go to the bathroom, because the bathroom was, like, a little far away. And there's so many people. I got stopped like 10 to 15 times every time I wanted to go.
Yeah.
That like one of the times when I had to go to the bathroom, I literally like put my hood down and I was like, walk fast. Because you don't get stopped just like once. Like if you get stopped,
Everyone sees it.
and then there's a line.
Yep.
And I'm not like, there's literally a line forming. And I'm not, I think a lot of athletes don't, or some athletes don't feel bad like being like, no. I can't do it.
I know it's so fucking hard, and especially with Shug too. It's like, dude, you could dress a little bit more low key, and if you don't dress low key, don't be pissed when there's lines of people want to get pictures.
Well, and I know if I get stopped or if I stop, there's gonna be a line for it. If I keep walking, if I don't get stopped, I'm okay. But I know if I get stopped or I'm looking up and I'm looking around, like someone's gonna stop me.
Yeah, especially that kind of event.
Exactly, especially when it's like that. Like they're all there to watch jiu-jitsu and for those athletes.
Who's been your favorite person to kind of watch jiu-jitsu wise, girl or boy?
I don't watch jiu-jitsu.
There's even growing up or anything, you don't even watch it?
I liked Mackenzie Dern, but I'm gonna be honest, or not Mackenzie, sorry, Michelle Nicolini. But even then, I really still didn't watch that much. It just, I think my ADHD won't let me. Like even when I watch movies, I'm usually on my phone too.
So there's not any positions that you're like, I want to figure out this position, or never, huh?
No.
So you train and then you shut your mind off of jiu-jitsu when you go home?
I'm always dealing with stuff like on my phone, responding to people, that type of stuff, dealing with contract seminars, stuff like that. So it doesn't really get shut off when I go home.
But when it comes to just
But as far as training, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Maybe I'll rewatch a match or two of mine and be like, oh, I should have done that there. Oh, I actually did that. Because sometimes, like, for me, I do stuff that I've never done before in competition sometimes. That I'm like, I don't even know why I did that, but it worked.
Just did it.
Yeah.
That's just being a good athlete, I think. That's how Sugar is, too. He does shit. He sees it once, maybe, or he just randomly does it. He doesn't even know he's doing it. I'm like, oh, you set that up here with this. And he's like,
that's me.
I didn't even know that.
Kishin will tell me, he'd be like, I like when you did this and then you did that. And I was like, I did what?
It's natural. It's pretty sweet.
The only time I get like new things in is when somebody else watches a video and then they'll like bring it in and want to drill it. And then I'll watch it there to be like, oh, it's here, 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 and here to like help with the drilling. But aside from that, like I don't follow anything jiu-jitsu unless like I follow like some of my friends, stuff like that.
So who kind of really taught you that, like that honey hold position? Who really broke that down for you and taught you that?
I had my professor back up in Alaska kind of taught me a lot of it, but a lot of it's me just kind of playing with it too. So like, yeah, there were drills, but a lot of the stuff in my game, like obviously started at a base point from somebody showing me. Mm-hmm. And then you start
exploring it.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a lot of stuff I'll do that's like, nobody ever showed me any of it. So yeah, that one, he kind of helped me with the leg locks. I did leg locks even before I got there. But he just kind of helped me sure up some stuff. And then, but what's funny is we actually, we do very similar things, or used to. Now, probably not so much the same. But everything is still different, even within that.
Yeah. It's crazy how much fucking jiu-jitsu is changing and shit. You see Mika Galvo and like those Rutolo brothers. It's like, holy fuck.
They do crazy shit too.
They do fucking crazy shit. And they're only 19 years old. It's like, what the fuck? Those brothers, if they stick to it, I bet you those guys end up moving to MMA. But I feel like if they stick with it, they could pass up Gordon. But it's like Gordon's okay, he's the greatest in Nogi, but those boys are gi and Nogi.
Yeah,
There's something special about the gi and Nogi. It's like, damn.
Well, because it's hard. You basically lose 50%. You lose 50% of your high competition training. Because like, yeah, you're still training in it. Yes, they still go hand in hand. However, they are slightly different. And because of that, like, okay, I train both. However, I would not do a high-level no-gi competition and then a high-level gi competition a week later because I just won't be at my peak for either one of them. Mm-hmm. Because I'm splitting it. It's just not, they're close, but you can't, competing both high-level is really difficult because they're super close, but they're just different enough that it makes a difference.
Yeah, that's what those Rutolo brothers make it interesting because they almost bring that Nogi style to their gi. They just break grips and they're just scrambling the whole time too. It's fucking sweet. So
yeah, no, they're always fun to watch.
All right, Liz, thank you so much for coming on. The girls everyone will love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what a beautiful show. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy it. We'll have a new show every week. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.